You know, you mentioned it before. We've taxed away out of some of these problems in the past. We've borrowed money out of these problems, but that's unsustainable. You can't keep doing this, and it's been done for the last 4, 5, 6 cycles, and now you got to pay the piper, so to speak.
That's absolutely right. The reality is that right now we still have a $500 million deficit, and that's after we've borrowed almost $1.2 billion, just straight borrowing, against what they called undefined revenue streams. So they didn't identify how they're going to pay for it. They just borrowed the money with an IOU to pay it back. And then on top of that, they did a whole bunch of other kind of one-time revenue shots that artificially solve the problem but don't really address the real issue. They've, the stimulus money, $600 million each year for the last couple of years. The sale of assets, state cars and things like that. They've sold off state property, some of this kind of thing.
But there's a lot of property that they have that they don't need, and they have to put it on the auction block or something, get rid of it. There's just too much property that the state owns, and if you own it, you got to maintain it.
Right.
So, but I did read something in the Hartford Courant that said that we're doing a bad job of that, whereas New York and other states are trying to unleash or get rid of some of their property that they have. And they're doing a much, much better job than Connecticut is in unloading this excess property that we have. We're talking about buildings, land, all this stuff. And I guess once you get rid of it, you don't have it anymore, but you have to maintain it.
Right.
And so we're doing a poor job of shrinking the size of what the state owns.
Well, it's the equivalent of trying to pay off your credit card bill by looking in the couch cushions for coins. I mean, it basically is what it is. It's $60 million in an $18 billion budget and a $500 million budget deficit. So it's really, the problem is that so many of the solutions that the folks in Hartford have come up with so far have been so small. And until we start to really address the fundamental things that are structurally wrong with our economy, why doesn't the economy grow, until we start to address those kinds of questions, we're never really going to get out from behind the 8 ball that we're behind right now.
Right. One of the options they don't have is raising taxes. I tell you, that's like the third rail here now. If you raise taxes in a deep recession, either party, they're in big trouble.
Well, the problem is that they've already used that tool. I mean, they've gone back to that, they've used that tool again and again and again over the last couple of years. And the question really is, how many more times can you go back to the well and try to get water from that source? It is unsustainable. When you look at the statistics, it becomes clear that we have a state government that we can only afford when the economy is just going gangbusters. When the bankers and financial folks down on Wall Street are getting these gargantuan bonuses, and then they pay a portion of that back into the state in terms of income taxes and capital gains and stuff like that. That's the only time when we can actually balance the budget and make it work.
It's not there anymore.
As long as that's gone, we can't afford what we've got. And so so you can talk about raising taxes, but we did an analysis at the Yankee Institute, and we concluded that in order to just simply raise income taxes to get out of this mess, you're looking at something like a 20% across the board income tax hike on every single person.
Way anybody in the state's going to go for that.
Nobody's going to go for that. It's unrealistic.
Rich, you just can't so-called rich, whatever, or the millionaires tax and all that stuff. A lot of them have left, and they're not millionaires anymore. So where do you get the money? The money's just not there, and you can't borrow it anymore. And so then you have to think about peeling back.
Well, that's absolutely right. There's, you can go back to the old saying that says that a penny saved is a penny earned, and in this case, we need to look at where we can save our pennies, but it's not just pennies; it's millions and millions and billions of dollars.
So you used to say we'll just borrow away out of this. And the thing is, that's what happened to California, and California is in meltdown right now. If you follow the news, they're having fiscal chaos over there, but we're not that bad.
Oh, well, we're not that bad. We're not that bad because because, ironically, because we haven't had the same level of economic growth over the last 10 or 15 years that they had. So, because our economy was stagnant already, we didn't have very far to fall. But that's not much comfort to, regular people out there trying to get by.
Yeah, but we're probably Connecticut's probably in the top 5. You correct me if I'm wrong. Most indebted states in the country per population.
Per capita, absolutely.
And that's not a good. I mean, it's funny. New York. I looked into this. New York is doing better than we are, and New Jersey is doing better than we are in this indebtedness that we have in this state. And we usually think of New York and New Jersey as being profligate, it's
right.
this wasting money.
Right.
But we're actually worse than they are.
Well, we're usually to have them in the rankings because it gives us at least 2 states to be either above or below when it comes to rankings.